Now, we can get into homiletics. That's you normally, when you study a Bible, you start with exegesis. That is, what does the text really say? And most of us take the text we have in our hands as a reasonable approximation of that. The next level is exposition. That's what we usually do, is we exposit it verse by verse. What does it mean? First level, what does it say? Second, what does it really mean? Down a level or two is what is called homiletics. Okay, great. You have to answer the so what question. So what does it mean to me? How do I apply it? Okay. So we might talk a little bit, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, but the position of Esther's people was strikingly analogous to that of the unsaved men and women in general. Conscious of being under the judgment of God, the curse of the broken law hanging over their heads. Cursed is everyone that continueth not in all things which are written in the book of the law to do them. Galatians 3:10, echoing Deuteronomy 27:26. Of course, God can say, deliver him from going down to the pit. I have found a ransom. Why can't I do that? Because of Jesus. That's what grace means. God's riches at Christ's expense. Huh? The Lord Jesus has borne the sinner's judgment. God hath made him to be sin for us, who knew no sin, that we might be made the righteousness of God in him. These are fabulous verses. Thus the king can hold out the golden scepter toward us, just as Xerxes held up the golden scepter at Esther. Our king can now hold the golden scepter to us. In each case, by grace. Notice, Esther did not plead the good works, the benevolence, or the loyalty of the Jews in her plea. She didn't plead any of that. Like Paul, when entreating Philemon on behalf of Onesimus, writes, if thou count me therefore a partner, receive him as myself. That's in effect that was the position Esther put herself in. Or as Paul says in Ephesians, he hath made us accepted in the beloved. Or John 17, that they may be made perfect in one, and that the world may know that this is Jesus in his high priestly prayer, that the world may know that thou hast sent me and hast loved them even as thou hast loved me. That's a staggering statement. That the Father loves us as much as he loves the Son. Can you imagine that? We can't possibly. We can't possibly embrace that. Now, Haman was the one that had the power of death, but he's been destroyed. Aren't you glad? The commission we've been given is even more urgent than the one that they had dispatching after Haman's death. Men are in danger of something far worse than their temporal destruction. They are in danger of the eternal judgment of God against sin. Wow. The widespread indifference to the king's commandment is disturbing in this much vaunted century of progress and enlightenment that we claim. The apathy, the disinterest in God's message is astonishing. We've even removed it from our culture. It's illegal to have them in school and so on and so forth. Are we surprised that God has his wrath on this country? It's a wrath of abandonment. There's a litmus test to tell whether God has abandoned us or not. Is there still time or not? Is the wrath of abandonment started? You can tell by Romans 1, verse 18 to the end, to verse 32. There's a test, a litmus test. God says, if they don't acknowledge me as a creator, I will give them over. 3 times he says, to that which is not convenient. Homosexuality is God's litmus test.